Jonathan Merryman here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame with Kenny Bruce, a voting member for the Hall of Fame. Now, an all-star cast here. We had Benny Parsons, Raymond Parks, Mark Martin. We also had Richard Childress and Rick Hendrick go in, but the families of Benny Parsons and Raymond Parks elated that finally that their guy got in the Hall of Fame.
The things that went on then, it was early days, they were poor, they worked hard, and they deserve what the credits are giving.
You know, it really mattered to Benny what people thought because he loved everybody, and I know that he would be really pleased today with this announcement. I think the Hall of Fame now is a better place because he's in it.
When he realized that he wasn't going to pull through the cancer diagnosis, he left me a list of 10 things to get done, and one of them was that he was afraid that people were going to forget him, and he said, "Please don't let people forget me." And I felt like today put a seal on that. It makes people not forget him. Nobody will ever forget him.
Kenny, obviously an emotional day for the families, but what does it mean for the NASCAR Hall of Fame to be able to have these guys in there?
Well, Jonathan, I mean, I think it's no different than it has been from every year. You know, both of these guys brought something very different to the table. As far as Raymond Parks, car owner back in the very early days. Benny Parsons, a successful driver, went on to enjoy a successful broadcasting career. It just kind of shows the diversity, you know, of the talents of the guys that we see inducted into the Hall each year.
Now, what about Mark Martin? He had a long career, but he's always called the best driver to never win a championship. So what's it mean to get Mark in?
Well, you know, Mark finished second 5 times, and he said recently that, you know, I finished 5 times to 4 of the best drivers in the sport, legends, so he's not embarrassed by that at all. I think it just shows that Mark Martin was very deserving. He may not have won a championship, but he is definitely a Hall of Fame caliber driver.
Now on to the current era. Richard Childress and Rick Hendrick, still very involved in the sport. They get voted in. I think to some fans that may be a bit of a surprise because they're still very active in the sport. What's it mean to have those two guys with over 300 Premier Series wins between them?
Well, I think when you look at both of those guys, I mean, especially look at Richard Childress, so successful in the 90s and into the early 2000s. Rick Hendrick came in and has been sort of picked up that mantle and run with it. Very successful. We expect both of them to continue to be successful with their drivers and their teams, and it just shows the future and how bright it is, I believe, for NASCAR.
Now, Kenny, we see the diverse class here, but what's one bullet point that stood out to you from these 5 guys?
Well, I think the one thing that really stood out was the fact that we had 3 car owners go in, 2 very deserving drivers. We didn't see any crew chiefs. We didn't see any people really outside of the competition side, which we've seen before.
Kenny, we appreciate it. And for more NASCAR Hall of Fame content, make sure you log on to NASCAR.com.